Welcome to Planet Pert, where you could get in free, but you gotta be a G. And like a Newport short in a Louisiana parish jail, I ain't got no filter. Yeah. But I'm not invested. Y'all go watch that if I want to. Like he couldn't make up to me, man. I'm done with that. Anyway,
what if I ask this question? I ask this question because I know you're gonna get honest with me. If he got Larry Hoover out, what would wait? Two questions. If he got him out, of course, what would your perception still be? But do you think that it would sway the haters?
Educate me on why Larry Hoover is in there.
Well, Larry Hoover, for one, is a gang member.
Okay.
Who formed the Crips.
Got you.
Right?
No, like this is everything that.
Tukey was Crip.
So who the fuck was Hoover then?
See, that's what I'm saying.
Look the shit up, man. Larry Hoover was Larry Hoover is not.
Cause I don't know who Larry Hoover is.
No, I'm just saying. I just know he didn't start the Crips. I was saying like Tukey.
Was it GD? It's one of the fucking gang. I don't know. I'm not into gang culture. So
well, either way, what was he in jail for? Right. That's the point. What was he in jail for?
Look the shit up because I'm not into gang culture, so I could never really tell you.
Gangster Disciples.
Yeah, GD. Yeah, I was right on that. I'm sorry, not the Crips.
All right. And so why should he be out?
They were saying that people like Larry Hoover could come and bring down a lot of the violence in Chicago,
which is a false narrative because.
Oh well, yeah, who's that right or wrong? But that was, I think that was Kanye's point.
I talked to my guy from Chicago, and he told me straight up, man, it's the banana clip theory. You know, I kill you, right? That's your man. He come kill me. Pat's my man. Pat come and kill him. And then the chain reaction to that goes on and on and on, and we see that happening time and time again. So there really is no stopping because I could be 5 years old and you could be 20. You killed my brother. You get 20 years. So when you got out in 25, I'm like, oh yeah, he back out, and then I'll start the whole chain reaction over. So it's the banana clip theory of going around and round and round and round, and until people get smarter. And either mothers get smarter with, and not saying you have the opportunity to, but if you have the opportunity to get your son the fuck out of there, get him the fuck out of there. My mother did that in Louisiana. She didn't. I would be dead because it's the same theory down there.
Yeah.
I grew up in the same circle, smaller town,
yeah.
Same shit that went on over there. And I watched a lot of people that I know when I was little die, and I watched people die as a consequence of those people dying. So it's bigger than just Hoover getting out, GDs. I will say one thing about the GDs and some of the disciples and Blackstone and some of those guys started off on positive stuff. The Crips started off on positive stuff. The Crips started off on positive stuff. It took the streets and turf wars and drugs and money.
Well, money.
Ruined those positive. Yeah, but that's what ruined those positive influences on what those guys had because they started off with meals, and that's why I'm just not into gang culture because everybody lost. It's red or blue and gang and all
gang
this other
culture is
shit.
different.
But if it meant something like what the Panthers meant and coming to the hood and feeding families and throwing turkeys out of the back of the truck, then I'll be Blood, Crip, GD, LD.
So you're saying
whatever the hell.
So you're saying it wouldn't even work. No. Even if he got out, you don't think he could stop the violence at the level that it is right now?
No.
At the level that it is right now.
Yeah. But like I said, the question is, would it sway like the hate? Do you think that he's getting for even going
for getting Hoover out?
Yeah. Because I can say that I personally saw a couple of comments on social media saying that they actually would.
Finally, Kanye's doing something.
Right. Or that.
Really? That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
See,
all right. So I'm saying like, what you think?
But if you go back to the original thing, what I was saying, it could because. I don't know a ton about Hoover, but like I just told you about a lot of the older creations of gangs had nothing to do with shoot 'em up, bang bang.
I got you.
So if Hoover went to jail on just for being black and having too much power,
like a Black Panther type of thing.
free him all day.
Yeah.
Like I say, I just don't know enough about gang culture and Hoover to say that. But if let's speaking on that path. But yeah, I think it could have some sort of impact. But there's a lot of brothers out there marching in Chicago. There's a lot of positive things in Chicago that people.
Chicago's corrupt, man.
Well, yes, the city, but there's a lot of things that's happening in Chicago.
It just is more fun to talk about
the violence. Yeah,
Chicago's corrupt.
I'm actually, when my guy comes down here, we're actually going to do a cast, but he wants to talk about
Probably do a couple.
He wants to talk about Chicago street violence, but he wants to. I want to hear his perspective because he's there in the trenches. He's there on the streets. He's there, so I just want to talk about why things are the way that they are.
All right, so like, let me just say, like, point blank, yeah, gang culture it always thrives for a reason, whether it's here or there.
Well, it's tribal.
Well, no, man, because like
tribal. That's why we love it.
No, man, it's
yeah,
not.
No, oh, that is.
I hear it.
Back into her roots, baby.
No, I hear you, but. I was talking. No. I was talking to somebody. I was talking to somebody today. How, like, people have to understand that in intense poverty, where there are no options, and the only options are the ones that you socially don't think are acceptable.
Yeah.
Well, let me just tell you something. Somebody's gonna feed their daughter. Somebody's gonna get that bag, and it's like, you know what? Right now, when I think about Chicago, and I understand that everybody's dying, I would think of Detroit when I was younger, where everybody was dying there. I think about New Orleans in my adolescence when everybody's dying there. And the thing is that it takes a couple of OGs to realize that what's going on is that we're killing each other, and so we're not making any money. And so that's what happens in each block. There's always a truce, and the real truce is for survival, because otherwise they're gonna fall down. And because Chicago's so corrupt,
it is. There's hospitals you get shot you can't go to.
You can't go to.
They take you somewhere else.
They take you somewhere else.
We're done dealing with y'all.
Yeah.
Fix it.
Yeah. Stop it.
So it's fucked up like that.
Yeah. Like, how do you deal with that? Like how are you supposed to fix that when everybody who's perpetuating it, they're not even profiting from it. They just don't see a reason why it should stop, and I just can't even explain that.
Well, I think I don't think people. I think we all, a lot of people say, we want it to stop, and we want to, make the hood better. But I don't think a lot of people realize how much money is made in the hood. And if you did make the hood better, how a lot of people would be no longer getting money. I mean, there's a lot of money in drugs, and a lot of people are making a lot of money selling drugs, so they don't want to see a whole bunch of hood get cleaned up and they can't make their money anymore.
We legalized.
Right. So,
man.
I mean,
and let me just put
and again, it's not like, I'm condoning it or I'm in favor of it, but it's just the reality of the situation. It's a lot of people making. I mean, even when you want to argue that the government, put crack in the hood or whatever, they just needed somewhere to wash that money. They had a whole bunch of that, and so they knew that if they put it in the hood, it would and bring it back.
Snowfall's showing us what
the
hell really happened.
Yeah.
Man.
And next season's going to be awesome.
They let the whole city of Miami be built up on cocaine,
cocaine.
Just so they could come through and swoop it up, and then they own everything and never have to spend a dime building that beautiful ass city, man. Like they did that with the banks. They did that with everything. I think that's a part of business. And which will take us to our next topic. Right. Yes, business is always business and being corrupt, man. And it's.
Before we
go ahead, Trey.
Before we even get over,
I'm about to.
Because let me just tell you,
no,
because we're about to talk about business, and I think that we should, and I think that as people who have learned a few things, we should impart those lessons. But the first lesson I want to tell everybody out there, right, is like, you know what? Those background checks and everything that they pull on you, like, you're setting yourself up to be part of the system. You're giving them a reason so that they have a reason to exclude you from the process.
True.
And it's like, you know what? I tell a lot of homies who have gone through the system that if you're gonna go through the system, and you can put back that money for bail, and you can put back that money for all these other things, for the tattoos and for the guns and everything like that. You should put back some money so that you can expunge your shit like the rest of these rich dudes who get through the system and they never ever know. And it's because they play the system, man. And you want to know something? Just because you can't afford a lawyer and your mom can't figure out a way for you to have good representation, like there's enough motherfuckers who have gone through probation, through the system, deferred it, and everything else around y'all that y'all need to start helping each other out. Because let me just tell you, man, nobody cares about a felon. They want you all dead, or they want you to be slave labor. And if you don't hear that yet, then you not listening, man. And I'm sorry, bro. It's the same thing like the damn face tattoos, but that's a whole nother day as somebody who's covered in like I'm covered in tattoos. But come on, bro. You letting people know your business, man. A true G doesn't let anybody know shit.
That's the new day, though, man. I mean, you got in the age of social media, in the age of I'm seen, I want to be seen, I have to.
They did that in the '90s too with the teardrops and shit, just not to a.
What's Jay-Z's claim to fame? That he sold all them drugs, but when he was overseas spitting them rhymes with Jazzo, Emery took the fall and didn't say shit. That's the legend of Jay-Z. That he sold all them drugs and got away. That his record is scot-free. Right? Everybody else fell around him. He doesn't deny that, right? But him, personally, clean, right? Biggie can't say that. 50 can't say that. None of Rick Ross, I don't know where his record came from. That's a whole other story. But Wayne can't even say that. Why was Wayne in the middle of all that business? He didn't need to be. He's a child protege. You know what I mean? Yeah. But Jay-Z has the cleanest record. Why? Because he told you, what's the greatest thing in the world? Credit.
Yeah.
Why? He can pull off that credit. There's a reason why he's married to Beyonce. Whether they got something set up or whatever, put them both together. They're a Billy, son. They were $1 billion in the elevator getting ghetto. Said my piece. So, like, man, protect your fucking credit, protect your name. Just like you protect your alias to the fucking hill with a banana clip on your side. Man, protect your fucking real legal name. And I'm sorry for getting so off the base on that one, but that's the first step in business, man. You can't do anything if you can't do it, right? Just like you can put all that money away in that Jordan shoebox and finance your fucking dreams, you should be able to be the face of your dreams too, just like Master P when he was saying,
Talk that shit, man, Trey.
Man, fucking say, Like Mr. P was out there. He told you he was the ice cream man. But that dude had gold ceilings. Why? Man, Pat, tell him it takes a lot to get the type of credit to get gold ceilings shipped in and installed. But that motherfucker had it.
That's true.
All right, man. Well, that brings us to our next topic. Rappers and business, and this is sparked up because we saw a tweet by 97.9 Box about Houston rapper Chamillionaire, calling him an expert investor, and we can definitely see why.
Man, shout out to Chamillionaire.
Definitely. He said Chamillionaire investor has put money into hugely successful tech startups like Marker Studios, which was bought by Disney for $700 million, Cruise, which was bought by General Motors for $1 billion, Ring, which was bought by Amazon for $1 billion, and Lyft, which is now worth $15 billion, according to Forbes. So, why did Chamillionaire decide to go from rap star to angel investor? He stated, I walked around the music industry for a bunch of years, right? And I saw a lot of rich people. I didn't see wealthy. I got into tech industry, and I see wealthy every day. Never stop seeking ways to grow.
Facts.
So, Trey was just speaking about, how, there is a lot of cash out and people just don't invest their money in the right plot, in the right spot.
See, well, it's a gamble. Also, a lot of people don't have the balls to do it.
Yeah, that's definitely
true. And that's the thing about me.
True.
It's like, I can invest, but it's like stocks. It's a gamble.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're going to put, never throw all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
But you should also research before you throw any eggs
Exactly.
in the basket.
Well, like Bitcoin. No one knew 10 years ago that Bitcoin is going to make people
Actually,
multi-millionaires.
and see, that's the thing about investing that I've found being around people who have way more money than I do. Real talk. Is that when they hear, so like one of my boys, Joe K, was actually one of those nerds who was like straight up mining in his room, right? He was mining them using his computers, and he was ever telling me about Bitcoin.
Right.
Now, a seasoned investor would have been like, okay, let me get this Bitcoin, let me figure out this new currency, let me invest what I can or cannot let me make that decision. Me, like I emulated, got it a few Bitcoins, and like to be honest with you, way before the bubble ever got to a point, I bought pizza and some other things online.
Yeah.
Just because it was like online currency. There was only so many places that could have it. But like a seasoned investor would have looked at it, would have heard that and been like, oh, that would have been like those who are like somebody told me recently that because Austin is now the new tech place, right? The new hopping spot, it's becoming way too expensive. So it's that's going to drive people over to San Antonio, which is now getting a whole bunch of development.
Yeah, Austin is expensive.
Just because everybody who once lived in Austin is like, fuck that, I'm going over to San Antonio. A seasoned investor would have done it. But people who are risk adverse, i.e. those who need their income,
Yeah, I mean,
they won't do that.
Things like Bitcoin are hit and miss. Kind of
Absolutely.
Like, Apple stock back in the 80s.
Mhm.
It crashed. And then people that held on to it are considered to be geniuses.
That's what they say.
You know what's
Luck.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of business is luck. You know?
Absolutely.
So nobody really knows where crypto coin, what crypto coin is going to blow up like that. And it actually started off with people paying for stuff on the dark web as well. Just want to make sure
Absolutely.
like, that's put in stone. Instead of taking cash, they were putting this.
I don't know anything that you're saying.
And I mean, a mutual friend of ours actually had a laptop full of crypto coin.
Absolutely.
And he lost it. It's worth $1 million to this day.
But who cashed out Bitcoin?
And trying to figure out like where that is,
that's,
right?
that's what I was saying. Is like
No one did.
I think a lot of people did. I
Oh,
just
really?
don't think we know. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you said that a lot of it is luck.
Yes.
I went to a day trading seminar, and a lot of not a lot. I would say not a lot, because when I guess if you, actually y'all were there, you would understand like it's extremely difficult to understand. But the point is, there are people who knew exactly what was going to happen and just did exactly what was going, what they were supposed to do.
Absolutely.
They knew it was going to spark up. They knew a whole bunch of people were going to catch fire.
Right.
Then they knew it was going to crash. And all they did was maneuver here, maneuver a little bit over here.
That's what the
Absolutely.
And make. So it's like I think it seems like luck to us because we never really studied the market. But there's a lot of people who know exactly what the market's going to do, and they're just sitting back, like just chilling, pressing buttons, making millions of dollars because they know what the. Because I think you have to. It also comes in just studying people and knowing how the mass people are going to think. So if I know, like you said, like it could be worth something, fear, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how much money like there are some companies make off of freaking hurricane disasters?
Absolutely.
We made a lot of money.
A lot of money is being made off of fear. Because they know if the news puts out a hurricane advisory warning, they're gonna need this.
Yes.
So boom, 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 boom.
HEB sells out of water. HEB sells out of every goddamn thing.
And they need to restock when they're over because everybody eats everything.
Yes. So, and all that's what the show Billion was about. Like they made a bunch of
I
money.
love it.
Bunch of money off of 9/11.
Yes.
Right?
Bunch of
Man.
Because
I don't-
Michael Moore already proved to us that it was true when he broke down the different groups and who made money off of it, like et cetera, et cetera. Like so everything people do take advantage. So they knew, right?
Now I don't.
Not saying that they predicted it or wanted it to happen, but they made the money off of it, knowing they took advantage of that business move at that time.
Well, I mean,
No,
the show
all right,
billions though.
So,
now
yeah.
I'm
reference.
not talking fucking billions. I'm talking real
Reference,
life though.
reference.
Carlisle Group, the Carlisle Group.
See, I think the only difference
tripping.
is in the show.
NYC, baby.
In the show, it wasn't like right. What I'm saying in the show, it wasn't like they knew it was going to happen. It just when it happened,
Yeah, he was-
some people didn't even flinch.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, I'm gonna just still do the market while
He
everyone
started
wrecked
doing
around or
trades.
whatever,
It
whatever.
was a slime bag move
So I
in
mean,
the eyes of business. But
I don't see it not happening
so
because I don't just see everybody making that much money off of it.
true.
But I still think people were still just trading because I mean, think about the rest of the world. That's at New York, but you got people trading in all other places too. So I'm sitting here like, okay, because like, where were you when 9/11 happened?
Fact.
Like I was sitting in class.
I was
You know what I mean?
pouring a caramel macchiato.
Right, so I'm like, I don't stop going. You know what I'm saying. So it's like if I can't stop going to school, if some people can't stop working,
Yeah.
Okay.
who will stop trading?
I want to revert it back to music and business then because that's where we started at. And
Can I do an interesting fact?
Do we think?
What's the question though?
No, because yeah, an interesting fact is that business still went on.
God bless good night.
I like it.
No, man,
I
because
like that, though.
I know 9/11 is kind of like one of those things, but one of the things that happened to me that day, and yeah, it was business just kept on, is that Rent-A-Center came over to my apartment, and it took back my first big screen, bro. And so like, yeah, they weren't tripping. Like I was watching it scrawl. Like you remember when it was scrawling? It's like, dude, unplugged it. Dude, unplugged it. He knocked on the door, man, and it was like, I'm in there like with my peoples, and like, I just get off of work, and like we're looking at the scrawl, and just watching the aftermath as some people would do. Dude came in, was like, yeah, man, y'all haven't paid. I thought that we had paid, but
Right.
That's another story for another day about roommates. But like my dude unplugged it and like turned it off on the scroll. So that's in my mind.
Your point is business don't give a damn. Business is ruthless.
Business don't give a fuck, dude.
You're supposed to be American.
What you think happens?
Nah, they don't
what
even care.
you think happens to the gun industry when a school gets shot up?
Oh yeah. And everybody when this is what when people start talking banning guns and this and it. Yo, when Obama was president, I couldn't buy 22 bullets.
That's
I can only get
correct.
100.
Yeah.
Like I went in there the other day and I was like, how many can I buy? They were like, oh, you can buy how many of you want to. But when that black man was president, man, they thought he was going to take away their guns so
That was
bad
stupid.
that I could not buy more than 122 bullets because everybody else was coming in there stockpiling bullets, man.
Yes,
like,
they were.
Texas is wild, man. They were stock. Now I can go in there under Trump and I could buy. Matter of fact, I had a bucket with 4,500 22 rounds in the fucking bucket if you wanted to buy the bucket. Like it was that bad, dude. I had just bought a brand new rifle that I couldn't even shoot the way I wanted to shoot it because I was basically minimized doing those senses of business, man. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. So my one of the questions I really wanted to go back to before you cut off was, do a lot of rappers invest wisely? Because Chameleon retired. Like I haven't heard a new song about Chameleon in a long ass time. But and a lot of people say, oh, he fell off because that's what the joke was last year.
When they saw him at when they saw him on the court side with E40.
Yes, earlier this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something like that,
Golden
right?
State, versus Houston.
And everybody's like, oh, look at him, he fell off. They start making memes. Oh, he don't rap. Like, didn't he know?
I didn't know he's still riding dirty.
All the money that he was making behind
Yeah.
the scenes. Because, like you said, when you're in the room with Google, with the CEOs of Google and Apple.
Like you said, I see wealth every day.
Oh,
wealth. We don't know the wealth.
Yeah.
We know the rich.
Oh yeah.
We don't know the wealth.
Yeah, Silicon
so
Valley.
when you start naming these CEOs, there's not a lot of people that even know.
That money moves different, man.
So if he said, "Oh, I was having lunch with such and such, such and such,"
I don't know.
Right. Well, the hood, right, or the rap audience, they wouldn't understand a lot of
It's
that.
like this. If you just moved to Houston today, and you're in Valero, and Matches Mac walked in, would you know he was a multi-millionaire?
No.
Right.
Because
Was he
white
here
people
like that?
don't wear wealth the way black people do.
Not at all. Well, I don't. All right. Because that's
now Jay-Z doesn't move around like that.
No. Because that's a good topic, right? But I think part of that is spoon fed to him, like the chains
All
and
these people weren't.
and the mansions and everything. No, like somebody, like I was listening to Nipsey the other day, and Nipsey was over here talking about how like his newest album was basically all about how he shunned the record industry and their normal models of I signed a record contract. I put out according to your schedule. And he said, no, I'm going to take my mixtapes and everything like that, go around the world and tour relentlessly until I build up my following.
Okay.
And then now he controls his masters and everything like that. And in one of his videos, not one of his videos, but in one of his songs, he was over talking about how they tried to make them get that chain for that Rockefeller chain or that Cash Money chain, but all that's charged back to you, right? But no, nobody ever tells you when you first sign a deal that you're basically taking out a loan until you start recouping back the money. Nobody tells you about these things. Like, nobody tells you that you don't need grills. No, you get that. You get like the rapper theme pack. Yeah, you get the rapper starter kit. That's what I was trying to think of. And it's like, all right, I gotta get a grill. I gotta get whatever Tekashi has at this point. Like, he's a caricature. But like, yeah, you gotta get all the tattoos. You gotta start getting the grills. You gotta start wearing a certain thing. Gotta get all the Jordans. Gotta get all that shit. And it's like, really and truly, you see people who are outliers like J. Cole or Kendrick, right? Like Kendrick, man, like his hair is always fucked up. But you got Yachty out there. Yachty was on GQ on YouTube the other day. I saw this GQ video, and it was literally like he was just showing off his pieces, right? And anybody who has ever invested in jewelry knows that jewelry is only worth what you paid for it, right?
Yes.
Right.
Well, you pay for the customization of jewelry, not really for the weight of gold and diamonds.
Exactly. So like,
So $1 million chain is probably worth less than half of that.
well, yeah. Especially like one of those that are like a figure or something. Well, like that's basically clay, and then like you put like the little bezels or whatever diamonds or whatever gold over it.
Gold is gold and silver mixed together.
Well, yeah.
No, I'm just telling
No, you
gold,
for real.
Gold is not 100% gold. It's gold.
Absolutely
gold
right.
and silver mixed together, and a certain volume of gold makes 10 karat, 14, 18, 24.
Absolutely.
But you'll never get an all gold necklace because that shit would cost. It would be way heavier than what you think it is.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, it put this much gold, that much silver to make a gold chain. So it's not even. That's why I understand what people, the fascination of jewelry and the fascination. When I was 15, it was cool. When I was 16, it was cool. When I turned 18 and 19, 20, like it just stopped being cool to me because it started to be more of a waste of money. Now I did invest into, as I saw the gold stop going up.
Absolutely.
I had a chain that was 2 ounces of gold, man. 56, 58 grams, or whatever the hell that 56 grams. Like I had a chain that was 2 ounces of gold that I bought for $300 or $400 that ended up being worth $700 by the time I pawned it.
Yeah.
Smart investment, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm watching the stock of gold go up. So me buying gold actually benefit me in the long run. But these cats with the way that the market doesn't really, it goes up, then it comes back down. It goes up, and if you're not buying gold bars, then you're not going to win like that. So
Doesn't it go back to your question
It's
that
an
is
investment.
rappers investing their money right?
No,
right way?
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Buying Bentleys doesn't help you.
You should lease a Bentley.
Yes, and Kanye, I don't know if he's actually follows what he says, but what he said was just like white people, white people get money, don't spend it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
But
that's
his
true.
windows are tinted.
It's like I'd rather buy 80 gold chains and go ignorant because that's the black mentality of a lot of things is to be seen and not to actually leave stuff behind at times as well.
So should we give him a tip? Should we give him my first tip on people who should, like, all right, if you're not already doing this, right, and you find yourself with, let's just say $40 after the end of paying everything else, you have $40, right? If you have more than that, I don't want to hear about it. I only want to talk about it, right? If you have $40, what you should go over to is your local U.S. gold or coin shop, right? And you buy you a silver dollar, right? Because that weight of that ounce of that silver dollar is an ounce of silver. And that ounce of silver, see, the thing is that Pert was saying was that gold has risen exponentially for so long that it's now, unless you're going to get a large enough volume, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
What you need to do is stack. So if you can just get ounces of silver, which is a precious metal, right? If you can just get stacks of those, get an ounce every single pay period, that's just $40 back. I guarantee you, when I started doing this in 2005, the price of silver was $25.
Okay.
Right? The price of silver has fluctuated each time, but just as gold fluctuates up,
Right.
silver always goes with it.
Right.
So when you start seeing gold go up, that means that your silver is going up. If you stack up enough silver dollars, not silver dollars what we're thinking about as this represents a dollar, but pure silver coins that are an ounce of silver, you have an ounce of silver.
Yeah, those are safe stocks that people go into as well. They'll buy like gold stocks, silver stocks, but gold stocks because apparently there's gold nugget stocks
Yes.
and then there's gold dust stocks.
Yes.
So they'll invest into those to where if a small investment you're not going to make a lot of money in, but a huge investment you'll end up making a shit ton of money in. You know what was crazy about Chameleonaire and what was crazy about Chameleonaire, what he was saying is, I feel like, not saying something doesn't get money, but what he was saying, and I've been trying to tell Slim, get in this tech world, but he wants to do real estate. I'm pretty sure he's doing well in real estate. And he's
Real
rich.
estate is so long
But
term.
I know, but he's trying to teach him a different way to actually be wealthy. You know what I mean? And I think what he's saying in that makes a lot of sense because I've been in a room with wealthy people before and with rich. I remember one of my first experiences on a yacht was McGillman. Now he has the dealership off of the Beltway in 59. They used to be over here on the west side. And Mr. McGinnis, I'm sorry, old white dude, man, had a little young. He looked like he was like Hugh Hefner, had a little young 40-something-year-old with the fake titties. We on the yacht. He was just like, well, he said, this year we rented the yacht. Next year we keep it up. We're gonna rent the whole fucking island. And the whole boat just uproared and cheered. And I was like, damn, that was like 1999. Like that was a hard ass flex for 2099 because I was like, damn, like I really can rent the fucking island. Like in my mind, like that's where my mind went, and knowing the difference between just saying, oh, I can go out and buy this and buy that. Like nigga, I'm on a yacht. You know what I'm saying? I ain't supposed to be here. You feel me? Like real shit. But I'm watching the way that the money moved, and when we start getting into the IT world of watching when these CEOs is coming in and watching when this big money starts coming in and stuff like that, man. So
I don't know, man.
just
For me, it was, and them boys, they always pointed out that they had real money. Like this one time, I was on a road trip with my boys over in college, and like this guy had rented a car, right? And so we went on over on a beer run, you know, and you know they did something that was very weird to me. He just threw the guy the keys to the rental, and I was like, right? And so we go out. So what do you do when you have a rental that's not under your name? You start doing donuts and shit in it.
wow.
And my friend, like, you know, like my friend, he did it. He was over just like fucking running up this shit. He wasn't even trying to take care of the car. And like I'm sitting over there, and it's like I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because you know, I'm broke, man. I'm broker than broke over at a rich school like that. I never afford it, right? And it's like I get on over there, and like he was like, you want to know the difference between me and you, Trey? And I was like, what? Huh? Okay. Like what? And he was like, the difference between me and you is that if I wreck this car, I'm just a phone call away from fixing it all. And I was just like, what the fuck? And this is like a friend of mine that you even know.
I thought he was gonna say 30 or 40 grand, cocksucker, beat it.
Oh man, like I was like, what the fuck? And that's when I really realized, like rich people, like wealthy people, they can just pay away their mistakes.
Oh, of course. I mean, we see that happen all the time with some of these rich guys that catch cases and
Influence.
Yeah, and that me and D
Affluent.
life. We know how that goes, man. But that goes back into politics, right? So I mean, it's a who you know, not what you know world. Speaking of politics,
So you voted for Ted Cruz earlier, right?
No. Let me tell y'all about why I will not vote for Ted Cruz here in Texas. And he may win, but he's not going to win underneath my vote, and he's not going to win underneath my vote for these rules and these those are some pretty personal things that has nothing to do with, hey, you voted for this guy, such and such. Hey, oh, you didn't vote for this proposition and slam me, because now I'm talking about making that change now, right? I have a hard time with that because, with me, like I tell everybody, I got the tax cut money, but you can't buy my loyalty. I've had people try to do that in the past, and all those people turned out to not be good people. So I voted Democratic flush, just being me, because I didn't feel like looking on these names, a bunch of white people that I'm not going to know anyway. Didn't put enough time invested into it. I just know I didn't like Ted Cruz. I don't like anything that he stands for. And I really stay on that firm because this summer my uncle did some foul stuff, called my wife out of her name. And I said, next time you go to jail, dog, don't call my phone.
It's real talk.
So I got a call Saturday. No,
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Collect call from.
Can you put some money in my
That's family.
commissary?
Oh no, that's family. That's family. So if I feel
Yeah,
that
you
way,
gotta
if I
do.
feel that way with family, who the fuck is President Trump or who the hell is Ted Cruz? Who the hell these
I
other
can see
people?
that.
Like I have a standard, bro. Like I told y'all last year, I have a brand. I have a standard that I live by. And I
Yeah.
would never, ever break that standard. So I couldn't really vote for the man.
Yeah.
Wasn't my cup of tea, man.
So, I have to vote for Cruz. The reason why,
Okay.
because I'm white.
Okay.
The reason why, because he's a Hispanic. If I vote for the white guy, I call it racist. Vito's a white guy, Cruz is a Hispanic, I gotta vote for him. And, because then my Hispanic friends will call me a racist. I'm joking, no.
I can see that happening.
I'm just joking, I don't even give a fuck.
But I thought his name was Beto, man. I thought he was,
Yeah,
it's Roberto,
at
but
first
we
when
call him Beto,
When I first
man.
started seeing the signs, I'm like,
Isn't he like a meatloaf, though?
yeah, he's like a meatloaf. Well, he thinks he is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's like, damn well, if I run for Senate and I put Patricio for, like, a sign, everyone's gonna think, like, I'm Mexican. I give him props on his marketing. That marketing's smart. Plus the Whataburger.
Yeah.
The Whataburger. And
That represents Texas more than Cruz
and,
represents.
B did a
Yeah.
concert for him, too, so he had to
And Willie.
Someone else has another.
Willie
Yeah,
Nelson,
Will-
too.
Someone else did another concert recently
Yeah,
for him.
yeah.
Like
I mean,
just
he's
at his rally.
illuminating young voters, man, and I just want to say, man, congratulations to, hold up, man, I got to give a round of applause for this, because congratulations to Texas for early voting. We actually broke a record this year, man. So, what was it, Monday, Trey?
Yes.
Yeah, it was Monday.
Trey was one of the first people to vote.
No, I'm always.
He probably was in line with the dad. I pick up the kids from school 7
Absolutely.
But
I
yeah, man,
actually
let's,
dropped up. Yeah.
Let's give a round of applause, man. There you go. Thank you, Trey, for turning that down and busting our ears. But yeah, man, round of applause to Texas, man, and the young youth that got out there and voted. I feel like this
That's a good
race,
sign for the Democrats.
this race, yeah, it has to be something we need it. We need it really, really bad. But I think this can turn out to be.
You don't ever have a turnout for the current party. So anytime there's a huge turnout,
It's for presidential, and this is like the hugest.
No, I mean like
Just
like I've never seen like if the Republicans are already in party, then a whole bunch of people in record numbers are going to vote again for Republicans. It's
Well,
typically, if they like you, you're probably just going to vote.
I'm not saying that.
No, I'm saying like the fact that there's a recharge
Yeah,
means
yeah,
that they want to
I see
change.
what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like they're not recharging to say we're going to support him again because he's already in office, right?
It could have been a bunch of Trumpies pulling up that first day too. Though.
No. But I'm saying
the rally was
record,
that day.
record numbers, and we're already a Republican state, so we're breaking record numbers. It's not the Republicans that are coming out.
I'm not opposed to what anybody votes, man. I think everybody has the right. I actually talked to one of my Republican friends. You remember Bobby, man, from the West Side, man.
Yeah.
I talked to him. Last Sunday while I was watching the Saints game, man, and he was telling me, the reason I voted for Trump. He gave me his reasons, and then he started talking about opportunities of black business. And he actually was like, man, if you can plug me in on the conversation, I would love to jump on the business podcast and talk about the aspect of that, because he was like, it's information that I didn't know, that as a black woman who's a business owner, and as a black business owner, there's a lot of perks and things and government contracts and a lot of things that we don't even know about that we could be getting out here. So he was kind of running into me, and I was kind of like, man, And he gave me his reasoning as to vote for Trump because it's not about the racist rhetoric. Obviously, he's my friend. He's calling me on the fucking phone, and obviously, he's not a racist, right? Or at least I don't know.
He's not being Kanye. He's not being Kanye.
I feel like a lot of people cross the line of just vote, or not cross the line, but pick a line of which side they're going to vote on based upon if it's a personal interest for them or not. Like I said, for the tax cut, for me and Trey probably saw more than I saw, and I saw a nice amount, but I'm sure he saw a nice amount, and he could just be like, you know what, I'm voting red. Just because I want to keep this money coming to my family, and it's his own self-interest. I don't care what people vote. I want more black people to vote because people died for us to vote. People died for us to have equal rights. People died for us to end racism, bro. You know what I mean? Like people died for this shit, and today we like our vote don't count. This doesn't count. Like people pissed me off with that on Facebook, and Facebook deleted a couple of my account. I was on my way over here, and I made a post that they deleted because I was like, you know what? Maybe I just said what I just said, and I was like, maybe some of y'all would be happy still being slaves because you're sitting up here telling me what I'm doing is not right, but you ain't doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like real talk, and I really mean that to the utmost respect. Maybe you'll be happy if Master just gave you a shed for you to post up in the fucking backyard and give you the scraps from the leftover goddamn cow and pig and whatever the fuck so you can make some chitlins and have a great ass ghetto time. But that to me, that's not enough. So when you sit up here and say, well, voting doesn't count, or this doesn't count, that shit, you can tell right now I'm getting mad because that shit lights a fire in me, bro. Like my mother was probably, her mother's mother, and everybody else was called niggers and couldn't stand in that fucking line. We was 13th of a man or some bullshit out here, bro. And you want to sit up here and tell me what I'm doing is because it's positive that it doesn't count? No, if you did more research, you would actually know better and you would do better, man. And I'm gonna pass it, man, because I'll go 40 minutes.
I'll go.
Shit.
All right. So.
It does, man.
I don't have a problem with anybody. All right, so like anybody can vote whatever they want because you know we've earned that right, and that's the system that we defend, and that's a lot of systems that like a lot of people I know, they gave their lives for. I mean, like real talk, man. A lot of people in the service industry on both sides. So like always salute the soldiers. As far as I'm concerned. The reason why I don't follow Trump, just for the record, is because I listen to speeches, and because I want to hear exactly what you say, because I only judge you for you. And when he said the blacks, that was terminology that I knew exactly what he said. And so he's not worried about me. I'm not worried about him. Make money, dog. Everybody make money. But here's the thing, because I have a lot of friends who are Trump fans, and like like, good on them, dude.
Right.
I believe like this, dude. I said some really harsh things about George H.
Yeah.
George W.
I did. H.
I've said some things that I love about Clinton and some things I don't love about Clinton. I said some things about somebody who will remain nameless because I believe that she can take me out at any given time. I've talked about all of them. Why? Because you stand up on that stage, you deserve whatever anybody wants to say.
True.
Right? Because you chose to be up there, right? When it comes to the Cruz, the reason why I didn't vote for him is because I've been in Texas long enough, man. You talk about my people, dog.
Yeah.
The next time I got to do is slap you. I don't care what. No, everybody says that it was all about business, and I feel you about it's all about business, where he went up there and shook that hand. But every single person, you want to know something? The first time I ever came in contact with that dude, Ted Cruz, is when it was over at a church. It was over at a church. He belongs to a church that one of my homies goes to, and like is very involved. And he said, "Come listen to this dude. He knows me. I'm open-minded about anything. I listen to anybody, right?" And so I went over and I looked at him, and yeah, he put on a good show, but like I look at what you do when nobody's looking at you, right? And so like I see you amongst your people where you're comfortable, you know what I mean? Like these are your people. These are the ones that are gonna love you forever, man. Y'all worship the same guy, put in the same collection plate. You know what I mean? I feel you.
So
ain't no problem with that. But off camera, I saw that man, and I saw that he's not anybody who would lead me.
So anybody tune into KPFT, like I listen to that a lot. It's just basically public radio, no sponsors. You
Yeah, speak on
You put money into
90.1.
Yeah, you put money into the pot. You can be a donor and things like that. If you got money, donate to them because it's a good stations. But they have a lot of shows on there, man. And those people went up there to try to go to Cruz's office for like months, and they called the cops on him. He wouldn't meet with the people, so he's not for the people. For me, this was after they made those controversial picks in the beginning of Trump's presidency. When he's supposed to be for us. We're supposed to be able to sit down, and we should be able to sit down and schedule a meeting with this man and have talks with this man about stuff that we bring or topics that we may feel is important to us. Whether he does it or not, that's fine. But he doesn't work for us, man. He works for Washington. He works for the big money.
He's been in it for so long, man.
And that's the reason why. I want to actually. Did you go, Dizzy? No. Are you voting?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was gonna say I'm about to go off on YouTube.
You can go off on me.
I'm about to Rosa Parks your ass. Like,
I ain't voting now. I ain't voting.
Here we got nigga. What?
I ain't voting.
So we'll get our politics because we're close to our 1:30 mark, and but I do want to get to our last topic because there's something that Dee talks about. But I actually, Pat, why do you vote independent, man? I want to know why.
It's not that I don't vote independent because I vote Democrat. I voted Republican. Like I told you before you got here, I voted for McCain the first, and then I voted Obama versus Perry. So
okay.
It's whatever I feels right at that time.
People like McCain.
I like
People
McCain. I like him.
R.I.P. McCain though.
Yeah, he was.
R.I.P.
He was a maverick. I mean,
I liked him.
He was the guy who wasn't scared to. I mean,
I didn't vote
he
for him,
not
but
one. I don't. He never endorsed Trump, did he?
No,
Never.
he went against him.
And the whole time, right? Yeah. So I mean, I can see why he has.
Why couldn't Ted Cruz be that strong, dude? Like as a representation of Texas, bro. As a representation of Texas, you just can't be that dude who got slapped on stage, bro. And then like
not just a regular slap, like the big
slap your mom, slap your dad, slap your dad and your wife too.
Yo, man, you talking about?
I thought he was an independent Republican.
He was.
He was more independent than a Republican.
Yeah. Look at his trait. You know what?
He had a lot of Democrat views on him.
I could have seen myself voting for McCain if he didn't pull some of the stuff that he pulled, like, first black president. Okay, well, I'm going to get the first woman vice president, and I understand it was.
I don't think that was his choice.
Yeah, that wasn't
his choice.
You watched the movie?
That wasn't his choice.
No, I seen the movie, but that was the only thing that was going to bring shock value.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. We know why it happened, but I don't think he was verified.
Man, shout out to HBO for always educating us.
It's true because you're looking at it basically like, okay, well, you have the first black president, or it's still history on this side, and and then when Obama did his Martin Luther King 40 whatever anniversary,
it was so good. It was so good.
It was great, man. Like that's him and Tupac has the voices, bro. And like I said, we'll talk about voices one day because they have voices of power, man. MLK had voices of power. That she has power.
As being independent,
but yeah.
All right. Well, I voted independent. I was strong independent. Actually, I started getting hardcore more independent voter this election.
Okay.
Because Trump, I'm not going to vote for him.
No.
Hillary, I'm not going to vote for him.
Yeah.
And it's just, if there was a better Democrat, I would have voted against Trump any day.
Yeah, there was a better Republican.
Yeah, exactly. The thing about it is, and a lot of people sat there and said, well, you still should have voted Hillary because they would have kept Trump out of office, vice versa, whatever.
Right. You did what
Here's my thing. If people keep getting stuck on this two-party system, we're going to keep on being fucked.
Okay.
I think the two-party system is what's
outdated.
I think something that he said earlier, it's really, really true. I think in the long run, a lot of people are going to make money because of this presidency.
Oh, yeah.
It's just which side is going to make more. But at the end of the day, we have to give the guy credit for opening up the playing field.
That's
because
true.
If he's going to allow everyone to make money, all he's going to do is say, all right. And at this point,
that's only if you're in position to make money.
Well, yes. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying someone from nothing is going to just automatically because of this president. No, what I'm saying is some of the stuff that he's pretty much deregulating is going to allow a lot of people to a lot of different people to make money, not just white people anymore. Now, if we're smart, like I don't forget what the rapper name who said this, but it was like if we're smart, we would have purchased a politician by now. Right? We would have put all our money towards someone to push our, instead of saying, okay, well, this person is black and he's in office, he should automatically do what we think. No,
we already did. We already did.
Can I play devil's advocate to that? Because I feel like Obama. I was the most successful under the Obama years than I ever been in my whole fucking life. Like facts.
I think a lot of people were.
Facts.
And they.
Like, my adult life, except if I was trapped, but my adult life like that. Like, come up because Bush, recession, went to college, got out of college, couldn't find a job, got a couple contracts. Once those budgets start to skim off and fall off the plate, and then going into Obama being president and unemployment's at an all-time low and all the other great stuff you guys did. I love you for that. Had me eating soups. Like when we got to that point. And the money wasn't flowing back, so now I have all this debt, can't find a job. I filled over 1,000 applications for like a year and some months, over 1,000. And I would do 10 a day because I read an article told me to do 10 a day, not to go over that, because to take some time and go breathe, take a walk, because I was getting so stressed out. But I was in the middle of this recession. To where it was nothing popping for me, man. I ended up taking like a $9 job, bro. Like,
no, that's real. It was legal at the time, so fuck it.
So I ended up taking a job that I felt like was beneath me, and I knew I was way smarter than to be in that position to be working that type of job, man. But I guess my point being proven is when the economy starts to turn, and then I got a $15 job. Got a $25 job, and so that was all under my guy. That's why I give him big props and I watch a lot of people. I watch you come up. Yeah. I watch a lot of other people come up.
No, a lot of people
under that same system. So
it was people were balling in the recession. One of the great things. Here's the deal about it, right? Because I see what you were saying, right? That it was during the Obama years, right? But like. As we see, like, a lot of old heads in IT and whatnot, like, we see, man, there are people who are able to weather those types of dips. But here's the difference that sets up.
Did we have at that time?
I think it is what skills, right? Yeah. But at the same time,
I survived the layoffs.
No,
oil and gas recently.
Yeah, but we have the ones who have survived those dips. They have the work ethic that others don't. Like the fact that you put in 10 applications and kept on putting 10 applications in to a point where you could say that is the grind that I'm not going to say millennials because I don't think that it's a grind that you either have or you don't have and have to learn.
Someone stopped at 9, right? Someone started 9 applications.
Yeah.
Someone put in 8.
True. Yeah.
So and someone put in 2 and just said,
and it's the grind. It's either the grind that you have or you don't. Like my mom, she out of all the lessons she taught me, she taught me how to hustle. And so like no matter what you put me in front of, I'm gonna hustle. And I'm going to try to get that promotion because that promotion means more money, whether it was Chuck E. Cheese or Blockbuster Video.
And Trey, you touched that on, and that's what I always argue to a lot of people who say, oh, man, college was stupid, it was for nothing. And it was like, well, to me, not really. Okay. Simply not because of the actual stuff that I went to class for, but the experience.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Because it's a lot of people who don't finish college, but are rich.
Yeah,
true.
It's a lot of people that finish college and are broke.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, college was never the tool. It was the person, the hustler, the biggest hustler.
But I think
because there were some people who showed up to college and made money as well. You know what I'm saying?
But I think that's part of it.
I think there's a lot of people that go there and say, okay, well, because I'm listening to what you're telling me to do, that's what's going to make me successful.
But I think that's the difference between
finding my own path to success through your education or through.
I think that's the difference between cultures, because like my mom told me that the way to get money was to go get good grades, to go to a college, and to come out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like between my wife and I, we have enough for a house note of just student loans that we've accumulated,
Right.
trying to follow that mantra. And I tell everybody every single day the way that I made any of my cash was from a test that took me $150.
Right.
It was $150
Try
that
to pass
that.
on to people.
But it was $150 that changed my life. It wasn't the $80,000 that I paid to TCU or U of H or any of the schools in between.
$150 wasn't $150 because you actually spent a lot of man hours learning how to do this.
I borrowed it from my mom. That's how broke I was.
I'm not talking
I borrowed it from my mom.
I'm talking to information. So I just had this talk with my wife about, she wants to go back to school and things like that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is what I was like, she's like, oh, but you had so much help and I had this, and I told her, sweetie, I actually went to day school, then I worked after that. Then when I came home, I had to watch before I can get to that, I came home and had to finish the school after work because I had all these papers and 10-page papers, and I'm like, what? 1,500 words? Like, where am I get all these words from? Like, whatever it was, right?
A man that can rap for 45 minutes.
I know, but trust me, I had no problem with mine. When you gotta write it is way different, bro. Like, it's just the thought of, okay, we said, how are we gonna do an hour podcast? We end up doing 2-hour podcasts. Hour and a half, easy, right? So she didn't understand that. Now, when I started school, old lady's pregnant at the time.
Mm-hmm.
She has the baby. She goes back to work after 2 months. Now I got the baby during the daytime. When she gets home, I drop the baby in her hands. I go out the door. I go to school.
Yeah.
I definitely
Weekends, I'm working. So my schedule was packed for those years. So people, we talked about that before. People see the success and they don't see the grind. Same thing.
Yeah.
To teach myself service, you know what I did? I stayed home. I didn't stay home, but every day that I got home from work and sometimes at free time doing work, I took VMware, I built servers, I built the domain controller, I figured out how to create a domain, add computers to the domain, and I was like, oh, that's it? It took me 2 weeks of not sleeping. My brain hurting from watching YouTube videos and going over my textbooks. Just teaching myself how to do this. Didn't want to ask nobody. I could have called Trey and asked Trey, but I didn't want to ask Trey. I could have called Aaron and asked Aaron. I could have called Scott. I could have called all these people, but I was like, no, I want to figure it out. And I may ask one question and be like, what you doing? Like, oh, nothing. And teaching myself this. So it's about the grind and the work ethic that you put in. So yes, the 150 does change, but there's lack of information, man. There's lack of information that comes from lack of education as well. Not just in the school, which we'll get into because we'll wrap on education. Like, I want to talk about that. And some of my questions with education that I had for D was, I was like, bro, why do we put millions of dollars back into like Stratford and Memorials, but the schools that are doing really, really bad don't put money back into those schools? You would think the schools that are doing really poor would get a lot of money put back into them so you can hire better teachers and give those incentives to deal with troubled teens or trouble this or trouble that, right? Like, and I mean, he broke it down for me, man. And
Taxes?
No. And he told me some real shit. He was like, so you move out to a nice neighborhood.
Pay more taxes.
Yeah, but do you want kids from the hood coming to your nice schools? And I was like, damn. I was stumped because I was like, we have the opportunity in a couple months we're buying a house, and it's cheaper for me to get one on the north side. And I look at the schools like Eisenhower, this school, that school. I'm like, with the teenager, then Nate's already, Nate, he's a damn gangster. So it's like, I'm like, damn, did I turn into that person? Like that, because as a parent, like, did I turn into that person of being like, I want my kids to be in a better environment? But is it because
it's not a bad thing?
But it's not. But is it because I know that they're not going to put the money, regardless of my taxes that I'm paying, or is it because I know they're not going to put the money into this school as well? So it's almost a double-edged sword for me.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I definitely feel your point, and because it's true, but it's also like, can you blame? anyone, because it's like, I mean, when you got more, you get better, you do better, you got more, you live more, right?
Yes.
Like, so if you're gonna go through, just like we were just talking about the grind. Well, if you're gonna put all these hours in grind, you're gonna make sure you're gonna have a nice place to put your kids in. You're gonna make sure you're gonna have a nice place there. So if you see a school and you know it's just doing poor, you're naturally not going to want to go there. So think about everyone else, right? It's like, okay, that school might have started off because at some point in time it was a nice area,
right,
and a lot of people were, a lot of businesses were involved, and a lot of property taxes, a lot of things were going on to that school. But certain people moved away, or the area might have just, like we were talking, businesses just go from over here to over, like businesses leaving certain areas. You can tell that area is not booming anymore.
Why not?
So
budget it? Why not budget it fair?
Well, first off, now also we got to realize too that a school budget will be based on the enrollment.
Yeah.
So you're not going to cut a same check for a school that only has 500 kids. The same school has 800, 1,000 kids.
Yeah.
So that budget is going to be different. You got the wave of that charter private. So therefore, kids are being taken out of public school and being placed into charter and private schools, and which also decreases the number of students at that particular school as well.
That's the big Betsy DeVos thing, right?
Right.
Is that when you trying to do the charters?
Yeah. And so it's like when you're taking a lot of the students or a lot of the kids that might stay in the area or not going to the area school, then that school is not going to get that budget until they change some things around and make people want to put kids back in that particular school. Like right now, we've had a few teachers at school I'm at had not like want to, but were moved to other schools with more students.
No, that's a lot of things.
That's a lot of things that happen. That's some of the things that happen when you have low enrollment. They will actually take a teacher and just split up some classes.
They won't fire you anymore.
They'll just put you in another school that has a lot of kids.
And so for most of the summer when that happens, it
happened recently.
Like most of the time, yeah.
You teach for a little bit too, though, right, Trey?
No, man, I'm a horrible teacher. I worked over in I worked in the administrative side of education. It is, but it isn't. Like for me, I always wanted to be. When I was in education, I wanted to be the president of the college. Like I wanted to run it all. Because that's just how I work, right? So, but no, like I see the teacher hustle, and it's a little bit interesting because what you're saying is right? So as people who keep it real, should we shun the places that we know are still valuable areas, right? Valuable school, but here's the deal. Like my mom, she moved me. Like when we first moved here from California, by way, like when we moved from the north to the south, we moved to Greenspoint, right? I went to Hinton Valley Elementary, Gray Elementary, and then my mom started figuring it out because Greenspoint started becoming Guns Point. So then we moved on over there to A-Leaf because that was that middle class area at that time of the world, and I went to Ollie Middle School, and that started getting hardcore. And then all of a sudden, my mom once again moved me over to Spring Branch because it was like, am I going to be the smartest guy over at Elsick, right? Or do I go over to Spring Branch, over to Stratford, where they're going to try to test me? And so, we went on over. So, my mom, she moved us around because the only thing important was the education. What it did teach me, though, and this is the reason why I say that, maybe you should look for a neighborhood that might be a little bit foreign, is that really and truly, being over in that Spring Branch area, I was the poor black kid who hung around a lot of rich kids that I would have never ever met and been able to call friends. Never ever been exposed to the Republican lifestyle, right? That's where we met. So it's like and the only reason why we met is probably because there was such a handful of us, and so we were all smushed together. It was only 20 black people, and it was like, oh, you're black too. What's your name? And so,
you went to college.
It was like exactly crazy.
Yeah, I met Pat over there, the same side of town, man. So. The diversity of.
Now let me throw another curveball. Let me throw another curveball at you, right? So now, not now, but for the past couple of years, you have school choice. right?
Yeah.
If you wanted to go to a school, all you have to do was go to that school, and I guess now certain schools, like I guess certain middle schools or high schools, you would actually have to apply because either they're magnet or they're, but they're have a specified curriculum, like a school of engineering, a school of this, a school of that, right?
Like her.
So it's like at some schools you would have to apply, but you still have that choice. Now, when you actually give these people a choice, and you got someone staying over here, but they want to get, they want to go to school way over here, all they're going to tell you is, hey, man, supply your own transportation, or if your GPA is high enough, or and if you get, they may supply a bus for you. But either way, now that you give people a choice versus you have to just be zoned to the school, or you'd have to move in order to go to this school. Now you can just go to the school no matter where you stay.
True.
Then can you say, okay, well, this school should have more budget if they're not doing or producing the type of career-ready students as this other school over here?
So
now, would you be willing to throw more money at the problem or more money to the solution?
More or less will be solutions for me, because the issue is you can have the freedom to go to any school you want to go to because your parents afford for you to either bus there or drop you off there. So there's other complications that go along with that. Most of the schools that struggle may be in the hood, but then you have single parent households, broken homes, kids staying with their grandma. I mean, we know how the hood story goes. My biggest thing with some of those schools and not having the right teachers in place is because they do tell us to lie. They tell us a lie that we have to go to college to be successful, just like I don't tell people that. But it depends on what you want to go to school for, whether that's going to be the truth or not.
Or what's your plan when you get to school? I mean, you can go to medical school, but if you don't have a plan on how you're going to get through it, or you have that motivation that makes you go, right? Because everyone, if we all went to at school, we had that moment of like, that shit ain't worth it.
True.
I don't want to do this no more. But we
I don't
all
want to read that book.
But we all had that. But we all had that reason why to keep on pushing.
If you want to do IT and stuff like that, see, knowing what I know, I tell people his story, I tell people Aaron's story, I tell people my story. I'm like, man, I waste a lot of money going to college, man. I'm in debt, like a tremendous amount of money. I'm paying back right now. By the time I pay back with interest, I could have bought 2 cars, like easy. So like I'm telling them the shortcut way to do it. And even in me telling them sometimes, man, and people still go to school anyway, and they want to have that education because they want the college experience, because we're trained and taught that that's the way that things need to be. This goes back into the political aspect of things of we don't have a lot of information in the hood to pass on with clarity, because us two will say, do it this way, and then 9 other people will look at this black kid and be like, you know what, you're not gonna make it anyway, man. It's a white man's world out here. We ain't never gonna be shit.
Yeah.
And you got
because those 9 people didn't make it.
Yes, but their work ethic wasn't there, and the information wasn't information.
But they will blame it on something else to make that kid feel like.
And that bothers the fuck out of me, and I think that's the reason why a lot of the hood mentalities be like, I'm gonna just sell drugs, I'm gonna just shoot people, I'm gonna just and because we don't have the information, but the information comes from education, which can come from better teachers, and not trying to push the college thing on us, because I used to look at TV like I could never go to college. My parents aren't the Huxtables. My parents aren't fucking the Winslows. Like, it's just mama here. And mama ain't got money. Mama ain't got money to buy us fucking name brand macaroni.
Uncle Phil isn't my uncle.
So, thank you,
Uncle
right?
Phil isn't my uncle, bro.
So my conception was I'll never be shit in life. And nobody ever told me different. My mama did, but it's coming from only one person. And I'm like, that's your mama. Every
there's a lot of motherfuckers who told you that you weren't.
Every mama tell you you're the best person in the world, right? Like, so it wasn't enough clarity behind that, and there wasn't enough influence behind that. I think that's the biggest part of education that we miss. Teachers that are actually compassionate, schools that allow these teachers to teach, fuck these textbooks, fuck all that other stuff. What I commend high school with right now is they do more career days than we do. They do more college tours than we did back then. Yes, West Side does. West Side, yeah.
Now you're going into a different. Yeah.
Okay,
no. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is different.
But do they target the Lord targeting schools the same way that they target the West Side. West Side is like one of the number 3
It's interesting.
schools in Texas.
No, it's interesting. It's a lot of business within like as a community
there's
college.
Several factors that you might be missing. One, West Side right now is pretty much a college prep.
Yeah,
so that's why it was not even engineered. Like they allow, like a lot of their kids are taking college courses in high school.
True.
So that's why a lot of kids go to West Side. I mean, I've had like my younger cousins, my cousin, she graduated college first. She got her associates and then graduated high school.
Because now you can do dual credit for so many years.
And West Side was probably one of the biggest schools that did.
Like
So
in
of
our
course
time,
they're gonna naturally attract the brightest and best of the city because they want that head start on college. Now you got A-Leaf has a wing in ACC now. So a lot of people are catching on to that, but that's what I said. I think the when you say put the teachers in, I don't necessarily think. I think anybody can teach at West Side, but because of that college readiness that they promote.
Okay.
It's not more of the teachers, it's more of the kids who they already know what they want to do when they get there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, when they took off school choice, West Side got a lot of kids from a lot of other areas.
Well, they're easy students because they're easy students that want to learn.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you want the student who already before they arrived on campus, they haven't eaten yet. They probably already got all their younger brothers and sisters over on the bus. They're trying to figure out shit, and like those are the ones that fall through the cracks and that need help.
Yes, definitely.
So to end it with one more point that I at least want to make, and then I'll be done with this. When I went to Stratford, it was a culture shock for me.
Absolutely.
Walking through the hallway, team spirit.
It was.
For me too, and I was white.
Yeah. Speak on it. Speak on it, Pat.
You can have it after, but pep rallies, all this.
Imagine this one on the West Side.
So this was like, dude, I stepped into the twilight zone. Like, teachers cared.
Yeah, teachers cared.
The workload. I had a pop quiz. I've never
going from Lee High School to West Side High School.
Going from Lee High School to Stratford was probably on the same scale, bro. I had a pop quiz.
Well, I wouldn't say. I'm not comparing. I'm saying the same shift. That same shift.
I guarantee you.
Yeah.
It was the same.
That same shift.
Because now I got 4, 5, and 6, and 7 assignments to do in the fucking class, and it was just too much. I'm like, wait, not that I couldn't do it. But man, I'm used to going to school and the teacher bullshit the first 30 minutes, and then we didn't do shit for 30 minutes.
Like we went to class for the first 30 minutes. Like at least we was in the hallway for the first 30 minutes.
Like so to go from that to go from like I said, pop quizzes, read the whole chapter tonight and do the thing in the back of the book. Like, no, we read like half the chapter in school one day, and the next, like that was like one assignment a week, bro. To having all those, so weekly assignments to do in one day, and I was just like, my brain was like, wait.
Standards.
Yes, because I wasn't used to that. So it's the culture. That's why I'm saying. But if we went to Spring Branch or West Side type school our whole life, it would be nothing to us.
Oh, you were used to summer reading. You're used to that.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying when I say when money needs to go back, the budget needs to go back, or the whole education process overall needs to go back. If black people need to step in and help your kids with homework and do.
I mean, let's be honest. It's not like any like how many people do you know that's actually sending money back to their schools?
No,
so it's like a lot of these people leave these schools and just they gone. They take their families and they go to better places.
Well, real talk.
So I mean, it's kind of like it's not no one real right answer.
Well, for me, I think
in my opinion,
I think that
I don't think it's one way to fix it, but I think it just needs to be more emphasis on trying to find solutions instead of being like, oh, that a black kid gets in trouble, oh, he's undereducated, oh, he must be, because that's the perception.
I think
people put on.
I honestly think that the only thing that the first step of change, right? Because there's a lot of things that need to be changed, right? We're not going to solve this in this little segment on the podcast.
No, we won't. No, I just wanted to touch on
that.
But
I think that the first thing that needs to happen for a lot of probably the up and comers, right, is that they need to be challenged. The only reason why I succeeded in Spring Branch or over at Stratford is because they tested me and I took it as an offense. I thought that they didn't think I was smart enough because my transcript didn't put me in the classes, and so they wanted me to test to get back into the classes that I have. So, like, me being the only black kid in the room, right? Just real talk, you know, everybody knows. I was the only black kid in the room, and, like, they all, like, whether they believe it or not, they said some things that were not right. And so, for me, Stratford was learning how to exist in that world and to prove to all of them that I belong.
See, I never wanted to belong in that world. That was my problem. And one of the biggest things when I went back to Lee was, and so here's the thing about curriculums. Right?
Yeah.
My 9th grade year, they were teaching me shit in my 10th grade year in Stratford that I already learned in my 9th grade year at another school. So the teacher was asking me to do all this book work, and I'm like, I already know who did that. This guy did this, and whoop, whoop, whoop. I read that book already. This is the way it ends.
Yeah.
Like, I was a know-it-all, right?
Yeah.
And I read books on my own free time. Believe it or not, I used to actually read books a lot when I was younger. Yes. And I used to know all these things. So when they were coming to me, it's like, I already know how to do that. Okay, give me the test. I wouldn't do the homework. I wouldn't do the other work because I was like, man, school's stupid. Because y'all teaching me the same old shit about the same old. I got to learn about Lincoln again. I got to learn about Washington again. I get to learn about Black history for 1 month. You know, I'm at a school that didn't have a Black history program, didn't have a Black history play, had nothing for my people. I was more on the pro-Black side when I was younger than I am now because I understand, like, people are people. I understand both sides of those scales. But, like, I was really like a militant young kid, man, where I wasn't for the system and what they were trying to teach us. And everybody know that. I used to speak gospels, and people would listen to me rant about this shit on and on and on and on. Like, maturity taught me to listen to both sides of things and to put everybody's opinion into one big pot and just make gumbo out of it.
Forget the Black History play. That's over
man.
at all those. Over at those damn schools.
Well, it doesn't. We just want it to belong. It has nothing to do with.
They used to round us up and then put us on that stage in front of everybody, and then, like, we had to do the same.
You did that shit.
Of course I did that shit. I like the women. I went to wherever, man, I went to every single place where there was a woman that might possibly love Travius as he is.
I agree.
All right, man, we'll wrap, man. I got nothing else on that. We'll come back. We'll come back to some of these topics. Like
I think this is the first episode where he didn't even do the intro. He didn't do anything. I don't know.
Generically, and the podcast actually started off pretty organic.
It did actually.
You know, I ain't trying to hear all that. I thought it was pretty good there.
Yeah, man.
You know.
I don't know. Shout out to Power Hits 281.com.
They picked us up, man. We got picked.
PowerHits281.com. No, like, man dropped something. I was listening and going at the same time.
What's up, son? All right, we just did your drop, man. Say what's up.
Say what's up, man.
Yeah, man.
Speak about the 2.0. Oh, that's that important stuff, man. Say goodbye. Say good night, bro.
All right. Hold on. All right. All right. Cool.
That's that real.
That's my son right there, man. Mr. Kobe. Perfect, man. Thank you for tuning in to Playing Pert Podcast. God bless.
God bless.